You've seen the video. The mist parts, a drone glides over endless rolling tea estates, and the Nilgiris look like an untouched mountain paradise. So you pull up a map and chart the 10 iconic locations: Ooty Lake, the Botanical Gardens, Beta Peak, Sims Park, Dolphin's Nose, Lamb's Rock, the Toy Train, Catherine Falls, Longwood Shola, and Kotagiri. The common assumption is that you can just book a central hotel and knock these out over a relaxed weekend. But that assumes flat terrain and modern highways. Up here, you are dealing with severe elevation changes, winding single-lane roads, and infrastructure originally built a century ago. When thousands of tourists rush the main centers simultaneously, you spend the peak hours of your day staring at the brake lights of the car in front of you. Treating these 10 distinct locations like a randomized checklist guarantees you will spend your entire vacation trapped inside a car rather than actually experiencing the mountains. This 3D map shows the geographic reality of the region. It forms a triangle, anchored by 3 primary hubs: Ooty, Coonoor, and Kotagiri. The level of commercialization and the sheer density of crowds change drastically depending on which point of this triangle you are standing on. To successfully execute a 10-spot itinerary, you have to group your destinations by their geographic proximity and their specific crowd profiles. We are going to break down how moving your focus away from the Ooty center shifts the logistical math in your favor. Cluster 1 surrounds Ooty. The targets here are the heavyweights: Ooty Lake, the Botanical Gardens, and Beta Peak. You come to this zone for access to the most highly curated landmarks in Tamil Nadu. This image shows the reality of that access. By midday, thousands of people are navigating against the exact same pathways and lawns. To survive this cluster, you have to brave Ooty city traffic and enforce a rigid cutoff. You must arrive at these sites before 10 a.m. to secure parking. Visiting this first zone requires a deliberate trade-off. You give up tranquil, untouched nature to walk through a highly manicured, high-friction tourist experience. Cluster 2 sits around Coonoor. Your targets are Sims Park, Dolphin's Nose, Lamb's Rock, and the Heritage Toy Train. Look at this shot of the blue toy train crossing the stone bridge. This cluster delivers canyon views, rail journeys, and immersive tea factory experiences. Getting to those views requires navigating narrow, winding plantation roads that cut directly through the estates. These access roads bottleneck quickly. Plus, you have a strict weather constraint. You need to reach the viewpoints before noon. Otherwise, thick, heavy clouds roll in and block the valleys entirely. Coonoor is a geographic middle ground, but you are still operating heavily on a well-worn tourist track. Cluster 3 pushes out to the untamed periphery around Kotagiri. Here, you're targeting Catherine Falls, Longwood Shola, and the Kotagiri viewpoint. As you can see, the tea terraces here are pristine, vibrant, and empty. This cluster provides absolute primeval serenity and the best-maintained estates. The immaculate condition of the Kotagiri area is tied directly to this woman, the late Chief Minister J.J. Lalicha, who kept a favored retreat here. Accessing this zone requires serious inputs. Drive on unpaved dirt tracks, hire mandatory forest guides, and carry your own supplies. Infrastructure here is incredibly sparse. Choosing this third cluster forces you to trade modern conveniences and dining options for a pure, untouched isolation. Managing a 10-spot itinerary across these clusters depends entirely on where you decide to sleep. Let's map this. Vertical axis, isolation. Horizontal axis, driving logistics. First, cross out Ooty city center. Daily gridlock sabotages timelines. Instead, Coonoor fits low logistics and moderate isolation. But for guaranteed empty nature, Kotagiri hits the high logistics, high isolation quadrant. Aligning your personal travel tolerance with the correct base camp quadrant prevents daily exhaustion and makes executing the entire itinerary achievable. That cinematic, misty dream of the Nilgiris that we started with is entirely real, and it is perfectly accessible. But that perfect experience is earned. You earn it through rigorous itinerary mapping, setting early alarms, and deliberately staying out of the commercial epicenters. Organizing the trip into geographical clusters and choosing a peripheral base camp provides the quiet experience that a centralized plan loses to the crowds.